Well, hello, folks out there in YouTube land. Got a big show lined up for you. Let's get right on into it. All right, let's pull up that screen. NIO. NIO has been flying the last week, and it appears the China crackdown isn't going away. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about pre-orders for the ET7, its launch coming up. Let's get into NIO. All right, as we know, I believe it's tomorrow, they're going to have their earnings for the fourth quarter of last year. I'm not over expecting some big profit or anything like that. I know they're going to lose some money, and I want to talk to you about why that is. This is a company that literally, if they wanted to be profitable today, they could be. The reason that they're not, and understand they only lost $40 million in the first quarter of last year. The second and third quarter, they actually lost more money, even though they sold a lot more vehicles, and here's why. This is their research and development in the first three quarters. So they went from 104 million to 136 million, then 185 million. So understand they're in high growth mode, and they're designing new vehicles like the ET7, ET5, and they've got another one coming out after that. So they've got to design all these, plus autonomous driving is so critical for this vehicle because they're not just a car company, they're also a bit of a high-tech company in that autonomous driving is going to be very profitable over time. And it's software as a service, which you know the margins in that. The margins on autonomous driving is going to be very high. It's going to help the entire car industry. And you got to spend money on R&D for that because it's not where it needs to be yet. One day it will be. And also, this was the first three quarters of last year with their general administrative, and this is when they're building the battery swap stations. They're building out their NIO houses and hiring the staff that they need. And as you can see, they went from 182 million first quarter to 283 million. So they're spending money to grow, and they're trying to get market share, and they're doing a really good job of that. And here we see the last 5 months. October's when they were shut down for 2 weeks because they had to get the ET7 line up, and they also increased their ability to build vehicles from 120,000 a year to 240,000 with the JAC factory. They rebounded in November. December was a decent month. January we knew was going to be lower because, you know, it's the first quarter. And here is where they were closed for almost a week because of the national holiday. And Chucky showed up a couple times, but I don't think we'll see Chucky much in the future. You know, maybe just a little tiny Chucky. And here you can see the ET7s. People are actually selling their pre-order positions that they originally paid $790 for, and they're actually selling them to people that want to get the vehicles quicker for up to 3 times what they initially paid. So that lets me know there's real good demand for the ET7, and I'm hearing that it's going to be a pretty good long wait, and that's why people are willing to pay for this. But I also heard from Mr. P, who covers NIO, that there wasn't going to be a long wait. So we've got 2 different stories coming out about the ET7. I'm not sure which is correct, but we'll find out over time. But I got a feeling that ET7 is going to be very popular, and I understand it's a very expensive vehicle. It's also very profitable. I think it's going to be the type of vehicle that'll be a great flagship for them that they can send all over the world. And price is not going to be as much of an issue when you start sending to Europe, United States, Norway, and places like that. But, you know, they're probably not going to sell just a ton of them. But if they can sell 30, 40,000 of those vehicles per year in China and then sell them all over the world, it will be fantastically profitable for them over time. Now, as far as the crackdown, we've had 2 major issues that are going for, that have been hurting all the Chinese stocks. NIO being definitely one of them, BABA, Xpeng, you name it, DD, not DD, but several, many of them. And it boiled down to this. You've got to allow companies to be audited. And that's really been the hang up. China decided they didn't want to have to do that. Well, that's not going to fly. So I figured they would finally cave on this because China is not Russia. Everybody's got a... I don't know why everybody thinks China is Russia. I don't get it. Just because their governments are technically both communism, China doesn't act like a communist country when it comes to money. Russia does. So I thought they would be pragmatic about it in the end and let the auditors come in. Otherwise, they're going to wind up with penny stocks instead of these monster stocks and companies, which could be NIO. So it appears they are blinking, which they should. It's ridiculous not to let a company get audited. That's good for everybody involved. And also this issue on Taiwan. I think because Russia invaded Ukraine, everybody initially thought, oh, well, they'll go in, take over Ukraine in about a week. And then China will think, oh, gosh, we can do that with Taiwan. Well, if there's one thing that China and the world has learned, you don't want to be Russia. That's the last country you want to be right now, because they are pariahs. They are being sanctioned into oblivion. And the decisions they've made have been monumental, have been incredibly stupid.
Thank you for playing. Should we or should we not follow the advice of the galactically stupid?
That's right. So I don't think China's going to follow the advice of the galactically stupid, which is Russia. So they're already, like I said, they're taking care of this crackdown, and they're going to let them audit the companies, it appears. The other thing is, I don't see them going into Taiwan. I think that would be just the dumbest thing in the world. You got to understand, the world can't let all the chip producers and yet another country get taken over and then have all the chips. I mean, you're talking about every stock market crashing, including China. And I don't know, China could probably recover from it over the next 5 or 10 years, but why knock yourself back 5 or 10 years and really have the whole world against you? It'd just be, like I said, galactically stupid. So it appears, you can see right here, they're going to let them audit it. It says, over the past few months, a regulatory crackdown against dual-listed companies by the Chinese have hammered Chinese-based firms. It says Beijing has decided to keep the stock market stable and support overseas listings. Said ever since then, obviously, all these companies have really jumped by anywhere from 13 up to 30%. I mean, heck, NIO went from $13. It's up around 21, 22 today, I think. I will check on it. And it says a lot of people are picking up the Chinese stocks at bargain basement prices. And this article actually says that people should consider them. I've already bought in. But they're rebounding as the crackdown nears an end. So that's all good news. All right, let's talk about where I came up with $34, which I think it'll get to that over the next few months. Right now, we're sitting at, $22. We hit a low of 13, so we're up about, 70% from that low. So that's a real nice comeback. And as you can see, it busted through both these resistance lines. The most important one being the $21 one, which goes all the way back to, almost a year ago or more. And it didn't have any trouble with that resistance. I think the next line is right up here in the 28 number, like 28.50. And then the next one should be at the $34 mark, which is where I think it'll hit over the next few months. And then eventually get up to the $54 mark, which is where it should be over time as it continues to grow. And as you know, I'm playing this both ways. I've got a long-term position that started around $15 back here. And then I've been swing trading it. I swing traded it here and made some nice money. And then I'm swing trading it again. However, I did get caught upside down in my trade, which is actually reversing. I started buying at 34 and bought all the way down into the 20s. And my last 5 buys were 24, 22, 20, 18, 16, and 14. I did not buy at 13 because I was buying in $2 increments. But I'm starting to get back to almost even. I've got to get up in the $24, $25 area to be even because I bought quite a bit right here. But over time, I think that'll take care of itself. And then eventually when we hit the 54, that's when I'll sell my swing trade. And I might sell it before then because I did dollar cost average way down. So I could make some real nice money right in here. But that's what I'm doing. It's your money. You do what you want. All right, folks, and that's NIO today. It's having a great week. And I think that China crackdown going away is going to be a huge issue. I'm much less concerned about Taiwan. I am concerned about the Rona over there and how they're handling that. I'm not sure that's going to work. But over time, I think that'll take care of itself. But, that's one man's opinion. And if you like this content, be sure to hit that like button and be sure to comment. That helps spread out the video to other people. I'm very bullish on NIO, as you know. And I hope you did like the content. And we'll see you next time on Mr. Frugal Investor.